Salute, 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 motherfuckers. What's happening? It's Boxing Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Just a real quick question and a real quick video, then I'm gonna get out y'all way. Ain't nothing really happening in boxing right now. Small things, things that don't really concern me. I was gonna make a video about Jermell Charlo breaking his hand, but it is what it is. It's boxing. Motherfucker broke his hand. We'll see what happens in 2023 with that. I was gonna make a video talking about, being young, gifted and black, and Gervonta Tank Davis. The flip side of Gervonta Tank Davis, nobody's perfect, and now he just got himself caught up in a situation with domestic violence. That's a whole nother video, but I'm not gonna do that either. I'm not gonna talk about that situation. See how it plays out. I was listening to the Rise podcast, and to me, they trying to put some positive energy around a negative situation. But I'm not going to touch on that situation. What I want to ask you motherfuckers is this, because this is what I'm thinking about. It's the only thing in regards to boxing right now that I find to be intellectually, challenging. Because this is my thoughts. I think right now that Deontay Wilder with Malik Scott just having a great little comeback fight against the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Lanius, knocking him out in like the first round. I think right now, as fragile as Anthony Joshua is, after he just took a loss, he released the McCracken, he left McCracken, he linked up with Garcia, and fought again and got outboxed by Alexander Usyk. Had somewhat of a little bit of a mental breakdown, and now he's mentally on the mends, and he's looking for a new trainer, and he might be linking up with future Hall of Famer, future legendary or living legend Derrick James. Derrick James right now is starting to get his roses for his accomplishments with his fighters and his stable, with Frank Martin just being successful against Michelle Riviera, with Errol Spence unifying, fighting against Jordanis Ugas, and with Jermell Charlo being undisputed on his run where he beat Tony Harrison, Jorge Cota, Jason Rosario, draw with Brian Castano, rematch, and then knocking out Brian Castano. So we've seen the track record of Derrick James, especially with Jermell Charlo. Hopefully his hand is well soon. But we've seen where Derrick James took a fighter like Jermell Charlo, go through a situation similar to Joshua, where he got outboxed by Tony Harrison in the first round. It was a loss. First fight, it was a loss. And he came back, reinvented, improved, and knocked out Tony Harrison. Then when he had a close fight, a draw with Brian Castano, came back in a rematch, reinvented and improved, and knocked out Brian Castano. We've seen him also help Errol Spence come back from a car accident and fight and win, pretty handedly, by wide margins, beating Danny Swift Garcia, coming back from an eye injury, and beating Jordanis Ugas, right? So we know that Derrick James has that type of a tutelage where he can help you mentally and physically get to the best version of yourself. So, once again, my question is to myself and to you. And before you leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Do you think that with Anthony Joshua training with Derrick James, will he be able to defeat Deontay Wilder training with Malik Scott? That's a question I'm going to ask myself until I see maybe that fight happening possibly. And if he trains with Derrick James, then it even becomes more intriguing of the possibilities of what the outcomes might be. Because as of right now, without Derrick James, I got Deontay Wilder knocking out Anthony Joshua. But if you factor in Derrick James, I think Anthony Joshua might be able to improve himself and beat Deontay Wilder. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. It's time for me to go. Salute, salute, salute. Bow.